WWE is indeed in a new era, as it looks like there's going to be content that is leaving Peacock for good and moving over to Netflix. We have so much to get into in this update. We're going to talk about what exactly is going off of Peacock, what is being removed, what will be available on Netflix, why is WWE choosing to content migrate everything on all these different platforms, and what does it mean for you as a fan viewing all of this. We're also going to talk about a pretty major free agent update that could have WWE and All Elite Wrestling competing for the services of one premier New Japan talent. All that and much more coming up right here in this video, so be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, so first things first, obviously we are at the precipice of the shift of WWE programming over to Netflix, or at least some of it. We know that the current WWE deal with Peacock extends until 2026. However, given this new deal that they have for Netflix and Raw, there's going to be some Raw content that even for viewers in the United States will be leaving for Netflix. While internationally, those of you who are outside of the United States, you are going to be able to watch WWE programming, nearly all of it, on one platform, that being Netflix. For those in the United States, it's a bit of a mixed bag, as you're going to have to get both Peacock and Netflix in order to view things the way WWE wants. So first things first, let's take a look at this update from Wrestle Talk, who basically had updated us on what's going on the international side. Of course, one of the big things that came out was what was going to happen to the tape library. Are we going to get everything? Are we going to get nothing? What's going on? Well, we can now see that Netflix internationally, outside of the United States, has revealed the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT vaults. They are become available in international markets, and indicating that more archival content would be coming. And that is a major thing, because one of the reports that we had heard was that there indeed would not be that much archival content coming over from the network days to the Netflix era for international viewers. And that was a big gripe that many international viewers had, that they had access to the WWE network, which honestly, the way it was in international markets actually had even more content on it than Peacock did, which is crazy. So you are going from a fan base having access to nearly everything to now this content migration starting, and it's a process. We all remember what happened in the United States when the network transitioned to Peacock. It took a number of months for all of the pay-per-view archival content and all that kind of stuff to get figured out and finally put in a place where it was at least usable for a lot of people. So that was a big deal. And now we also know that WWE is going to slowly but surely roll out some of that pay-per-view content. Now, it won't be everything. According to a report from Dave Meltzer recently, it was just going to be the WWE pay-per-view library with not that much archival content up at the start, and then hopefully they're going to try to get it in. But stuff like the WCW library, stuff like the ECW library does not seem like it is planned as of right now internationally to go on the Netflix archival content. So that's a pretty big thing when you consider that one of the big perks of the network and Peacock and all that kind of stuff was that you had access to everything. You had access to the entire nearly WWE vault. That's going to change, it looks like, in the Netflix era. Now, the other thing that people in the United States are wondering, obviously, is like, what's going on with Peacock? What's going on with this migration? Is it going to affect the way you can watch WWE content on Peacock? Yes, it will, because if you go to Peacock, you can see a countdown right now for WWE Raw programming, and that is the entire archival library for Monday Night Raw. You have about a couple of hours at this point. It's less than 20 at this point, and by the time some of you are watching this, they may be even gone completely, but many people are getting this. You have X amount of time to watch, and that signals a complete removal of the Raw content library from Peacock. That means it is going away. It looks like it's going to be available on Netflix. As if we go back to the graphic from earlier, you can see all of the content that is coming over to Netflix. You have oodles and oodles of raw content and superstar profiles and the like. A lot of that is going to be going over to the Netflix platform, and we are going to see that migration hopefully happen seamlessly. I would hope. Again, we will see. There's a couple of hours until this thing really rolls out, and it's going to be a crapshoot to see how well it does. But, you know, I think for a lot of people, the big thing is why, right? And why am I going to have to pay for both Peacock, Netflix? Why am I going to have to do all this stuff and so I can just watch the programming that I like? Well, reality is, guys, this is the business that WWE is in. And this is the business that any wrestling company at their stature, if you look at AEW, this is a business they want to be in. Because the amount of money that they are getting thrown at them for this kind of content is insane. It is not only securing the future of the company, but it's also securing the brand awareness that the company has internationally. They want this. They want to have all of this money in order not to only just to pay talent, not only to pay themselves and pay the exorbitant fees that I'm sure Nick Khan, Triple H, and company are paying themselves, but also for TKO, they want to get a lot of the money back that they lost or spent, I should say, in this merger. So for them, it's that. They also want to grow the brand. The WWE is in a massive growth mode right now. They want to make sure that in every household, or as many households as possible, people know the name WWE and people view it in a positive light and as a form of entertainment that they want to go see. That is, at the end of the day, the goal of all of this. And they're going to make a lot of money along the way. So that's why you're seeing this. I know one thing that people are kind of concerned about is, like, you know, the payment of this and how it's going to happen. Hypothetically, I will say, and I will give you guys a little piece of advice here. If you have a VPN, if you're in America, you have a VPN, and you want to watch Raw, SmackDown live, all that kind of stuff, the pay-per-views live, and you don't want to spend the money on Peacock anymore, and you already have Netflix or whatever, use a VPN, go to an international market, you could very easily do that. Hypothetically, in theory. Now, does that solve the issue of, like, the library? No, because the library is not going to be available at launch. So you run into that issue. And again, for right now, it looks like we are in a no-win situation as far as that goes. But hopefully in a couple of months, WWE can get that all sorted out. And they can have a place where it's all centralized and like that. And look, if you know me, you know my ass is going to be watching from England a couple of times a year. Anyway, guys, that's the WWE TKO Netflix Peacock. So many names news right there, guys. Let me know what you guys thinking about it in the comments section. And before we move on to our last and final topic, I do want to give a quick shout out to the channel memberships, guys. Channel memberships are a fantastic way to support the channel. And today, you guys can support us. All you got to do is become a channel member today. You get access to some exclusive content that is in the Real Take Vault. Yeah, you got a WWE Vault. Now you got a Real Take Vault. But you get access to that content. You get access to some custom emotes. And, of course, you also get the opportunity to help out and help and make sure the channel keeps growing. Put a lot of time and effort into the channel, and I really appreciate the support I've gotten this far. As we enter a new year, I think this is just another way, if you can, to support me. But again, if you can't, it's all good. A like is also just as good. Now let's move on and talk about our next and final topic. Let's talk about some free agent news out of New Japan Pro Wrestling. There's a pretty major New Japan Pro Wrestling free agent who is going to be available come 2025, it looks like, according to a new report from FightfulSelect.com. Gabe Kidd looks like he is set to be a free agent. This, according to FightfulSelect.com, Sean Ross Sapp says, quote, Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp has learned that New Japan Pro Wrestling strong openweight champion Gabe Kidd has his New Japan Wrestling contract coming up soon. Gabe Kidd has worked ROH tapings in addition to working as a prominent talent in New Japan Pro Wrestling over the last couple of years. Kidd is expected to be a talent that New Japan hopes to retain, but we haven't heard if the process negotiations are ongoing or not. And for those of you who may not know about Gabe Kidd, he is a member of Bullet Club. He is Arguably, I would say the most prominent member of that group at this point. I mean, Dave Finlay is doing his thing, and shout out to him, but Gabe Kidd is the real star of this group, in my opinion. And as someone who's watched New Japan and kind of where it's gone to the last couple of years, I think he's really one of the few bright spots that this company has at this point, outside of the teamwork and cooperation they do with other companies outside of Japan. Gabe Kidd, though, to me, he has star written all over him. The man has the ability to cut an impassioned promo like no one else. He has oodles of talent in the ring, and I think he's someone that he's definitely on AEW's radar. He's going to be wrestling Kenny Omega this coming weekend at the Wrestle Dynasty show in Japan, which is going to be AEW's first ever co-promoted show in Japan, their first ever stadium show in Japan. And then you also have the fact that, he's kind of been online. He's went viral once by doing I think it was a KTLA interview in Los Angeles, where he just started talking about wrestling, these they don't know what they're doing. He was just crashing out completely. But he's a guy to keep an eye on. I truly think that AEW is definitely going to want to see what they can do here. And don't count out WWE, because I do think that Shawn Michaels looks at a guy like Gabe Kidd and is like, imagine what I could do with that guy. Imagine what we could build him into. Imagine what he could become here. And I think he is one of those pet project types that Shawn Michaels would definitely love. The question is, what would his ceiling in WWE be? And that's the question of a lot of people who may come from New Japan. What is the ceiling for them in WWE? Because Gabe Kidd is a guy who, at this point, he's very young. He's 26 years old. He has all the ability in the world to become a world champion. And I truly believe that. I'm not just blowing smoke. I think that. He's young. He's talented. He's got the mic. He's got the gift of jab and the gift of gab, all that kind of stuff. And it's just about honing it, and it's just about telling the right stories with him. I hope that WWE, if they were able to pick him up, would do that. It does look like New Japan is the front runner at this point to retain his services. However, never say never in pro wrestling these days. I do think that it would serve him well to continue in New Japan. Just from a storytelling standpoint, I think, the mystique of him could grow, and I think he should take over the Bullet Club. That's just my thing, but that's a story for another day. But guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about Gabe Kidd potentially joining WWE, AEW, or staying with New Japan. What do you guys want to see? Also, let me know what you guys think about the whole Peacock Netflix thing. Are you mad? Are you upset? Are you confused? Let me know in the comment section while I answer your questions. Until next time, guys, though, be happy, be healthy. Happy New Year to everyone out there. Thank you so much for watching this far. Again, I really appreciate you guys. If you guys want to support, be sure to hit that like button. Become a channel member as well. Look at that. Nice little graphic. It's great. Become a channel member as well to help support the channel as well. And Happy New Year. Until next time, be happy, be healthy. And as always, keep it real.